Honorable Governors, Executive Directors, AfDB management and staff, ladies and gentlemen, in a time full of uncertainties and global pressures, I commend the Bank's choice of this year's theme, which tackles making Africa's capital work better for Africa's development. While Africa's potential is huge, with its position of the elements to emerge as the global powerhouse of the future, the continent's natural wealth and human capital remain significantly underutilized. A situation that is adversely magnified by increasing global economic fragmentation, fueled by trade wars and geopolitical tensions. Such escalating tensions have introduced additional layers of complexity that drive up borrowing costs, discourage investments, and trigger foreign currency volatility. In the light of these challenges, unlocking Africa's full potential requires a comprehensive and integrated approach to transformation. Driving this transformation forward calls for the African nations to move beyond traditional models rooted in exporting raw materials to one that focuses on value-added economic structure. This requires investing in regional value chains, strengthening supply linkages, establishing special economic zones, and improving resource governance. It is also vital to boost regional integration and intra-Africa trade through mechanisms like the African Continental Free Trade Area. In addition, Africa needs to build resilience against global shocks through ensuring food security. While Africa has massive, abundant, arable land representing 65% of the global available land for cultivation, much of this remains untapped due to the infrastructure gaps and weak resource management. Egypt's strategy, aligned with the Dakar II summit outcomes, exemplifies this approach by expanding arable land, investing in research and development, leveraging technology and artificial intelligence, and fostering partnership with the private sector. Egypt is enhancing productivity and improving market access. Equally important is Africa's young population, which stands as one of its greatest assets. By 2030, it is expected that 25% of the world's young population will be African. We must empower youth through capability building, modernized educational systems, and targeted policy actions. We need to support startups and SMEs where young people can actively participate and thrive. To ensure our transformation endeavors is suitable, there is a need to address the structural barriers hindering the continent's long-term prosperity. These include inadequate infrastructure, weak governance structures, limited access to finance, underdeveloped capital markets, and high borrowing costs. The AfDB and African development institutions play a pivotal role in the journey by availing finance and driving capacity building. To this end, it is essential to adopt innovative financing strategies to close the financing gap, including blended finance and effective public-private partnerships (PPPs). Additionally, regional and international collaboration must be deepened alongside the efforts to develop more resilient capital markets across the continent. Beyond financial solutions, institutional reform must remain a top priority, accelerating governance reforms, facilitating sustainable energy access, advancing industrialization, and promoting regional integration are all essential pillars for enabling African institutions to lead the transformation. In particular, through their policy advocacy and capacity building capabilities, the institutions can play an instrumental role in streaming trade policies and supporting the effective implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Furthermore, drawing from our national experience in the flagship Nexus on water, food, and energy, I want to emphasize the role of development partners in supporting ambitious country-owned and country-led platforms to foster collaboration among developed partners based on a shared strategic vision and priorities. Since 2022, the NWAFI platform has been able to avail around $3.9 billion of financing for our mitigation efforts and feasibility studies focused on adaptation and resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude that Africa's potential is vast and path toward transformation is within reach. With bold, coordinated action, and commitment to reform and investment, we can unleash new heights of prosperity and fulfill aspirations of Agenda 2063. I look forward to the active engagement and deliberations with the esteemed governance and policymakers in Abidjan through the 2025 annual meetings. Thank you.